This video is sponsored by PotownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCG code cards. They are compatible with TCG Live, and you can of course get everything on the website for 5% off using the coupon code ZapdosTCG. This video is also sponsored by CARDMARKET.com. This is a European platform where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day, and you can do it as well. And you can use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. This video is also sponsored by PLAYMAT.com. This is a platform where you're able to, of course, create your own custom playmat. They have, of course, capabilities to ship worldwide, and you can get 10% off by clicking the link down below. So definitely check it out. Last but not least is Dragon Shield, the best brand to protect your beautiful cards. You can of course there's links down below for US and European people, and you can of course get your best quality sleeves available, as well as deck boxes and binders. Thanks so much for sticking around with the commercials. I hope you enjoyed today's upload. If you do, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button, and let's get this video going. Sup YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get the latest Pokemon TCG news and information in town, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Today we're going to be talking about the Pokemon Card 151 set that comes out in Japan very shortly, and we're going to be talking about some new EX cards that we're going to be getting, as well as some great playable cards that might see play at the top table. So without further ado, let's just dive into this video. If you like what you see, feel free to slap the hell out of the like button. Helps to support the channel tremendously, and I'm always super grateful if you would do so. So let's just start right away. Here we have the Ditto. This new Ditto is actually pretty good. It comes back with an ability, and once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may choose a basic Pokemon except Ditto from your deck. If you do, discard this Pokemon and all cards attached, and put the chosen Pokemon in its place. And it only works during your first turn. So that is actually not bad in Lost Box, because you could be running you were already running 4 Comphase, but sometimes you can find them in time. And if you have Ditto, and if it's your first turn, you can battle via P-Pass, maybe get a Ditto and a Comfey, and then swap the Ditto for a Comfey. You could also maybe play let's say you're playing 4 Ditto, 4 Comfey, you're always gonna have a fantastic starting Pokemon to have Comfey. So the Ditto then transforms into Comfey. You do eat up a lot of deck space with that, but maybe you're playing 1 or 2 Dittos just to make sure that you always start with a fantastic Pokemon on your very first turn. In the late game, this is actually not good. It's only working on your first turn of the game, so you can swap this Pokemon with an active Pokemon instantly from the deck, except for any other Ditto. Otherwise, you can Ditto change, Ditto chain, and that's not the way the card is designed. So if you do discard this Pokemon and all cards attached, you do have to be afraid of stuff like Echoing Horn, because if you put some 60 HP fellas in discard pile, they can Echoing Horn and then Lost Mine, which is always a very tricky thing. But this is definitely going to be seeing play. It's great to have another great starting Pokemon in your decks. Let's say you're having a specific Pokemon that you want to start with. Well, with the Ditto, you increase the odds of getting that Pokemon into play turn 1. So Ditto, pretty good, I would say. Let me know down below how you feel about this specific little Ditto. Moving forward is Zapdos EX. Look at that crazy card. There's also an English scan available right here. It's not that bright, but you already see a little bit of the EXs we're getting in the Pokemon Card 151 set. So we're going to be learning all about that in this video. We already talked about Venusaur, Alakazam. We talked about Blastoise and Charizard before, and even the Mew here. But we're going to be talking about the others. If you still are interested to learn about the others, there are of course videos on my channel to explain these other cards as well. But for now, we're going to be talking about the new cards here. It is Zapdos EX, 200 HP, and it comes back with an ability, and that ability is, if this Pokemon has any lightning energies attached to it, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Free retreat on the Zapdos if you have an energy on it. Luckily, Zapdos is in a format where Miraidon is around, where Electric Generator is around, so it has all the lightning support it needs to get going. Its attack is also pretty interesting. You're slapping 120 damage, and then you're slapping 90 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that already has damage counters on it. This could be nice if you're playing it in combination with Hawlucha. You slap down Hawlucha, and you instantly attack with Zapdos turn 1 with the help of something like Electric Generator, and then you're already slapping 120-90 on turn 1 of the game. That could be pretty scary. I would definitely include a 1-off in any Miraidon deck because of the sniping capabilities that it comes back with. In the past, we had to rely on Magnezone, and the Magnezone V-Star could also hit 90 to 2 targets, but this is a little bit easier in that sense. It's a basic Pokemon, attach of the turn, Electric Generator, and poof, off you go. Also is very nice to have free retreat once you just attach 1 energy to it, so that could be meaning attach of the turn, then Electric Generator onto something like a Raikou V, and off you go as well because of the free retreat. Very nice for sure. Also has that fighting resistance. If you want to be playing Miraidon, and if you're still afraid of the fighting weakness, this Zapdos could help to bring that resistance into your deck so you're not entirely weak against fighting. So a cool Zapdos card. Could even increase the numbered output with, of course, something like a Lecky VMAX that boosts the damage output of your basic Pokemon, and Zapdos EX is a basic Pokemon. So cool card. It's not the most broken card we've ever seen, but it's definitely a one-off in Miraidon decks, which is always nice to see. Then we have Moltres and Articuno. These fellas did not get the EX treatment, and let's see what they do. They have the exact same abilities, so if this Pokemon has a fire energy attached to it, it has no retreat cost. So pretty much the same as Zapdos, but then for the fire type. And then it actually has the Blaze Up, discard 2 fire energies from this Pokemon, and then snipe 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. A fire sniping Pokemon, we haven't seen that a lot. I think the last one we saw is the Delphox V, which actually didn't see a whole heap of play. So yeah, I don't think this Moltres, it actually needs 2 energies. You cannot get it off in 1 turn. Maybe Raihan attachment, Magma Basin, but that's a lot to just snipe. And with Manaphy in the format, I don't know how it feels. Also, a little side note, the Zapdos also could be nerfed quite significantly if people all play Manaphy in their deck, which most of the decks like Lost Box and Gardevoir do. So it could surprise people, that's for sure. Definitely on turn 1 of the game. Then there's Articuno, having the attack here, Blizzard, 110 damage to the active, and then 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Pretty much a mini flying flip, if you remember those days. You can spread some damage counters around, and you also have free retreat when you have a water energy attached. Water Pokemon do have a lot of support, because we do get that Excalibur, Scaladurge. No, it's not Scaladurge, it's the water type stage 2 Pokemon with the Rain Dance ability is around. So if you want to be spreading a little bit, making some Pokemon weakened up, you could be trying out Articuno. If you can, it's a spread deck, but I don't think it's going to be seeing play at all. I'll be honest. The only cards I see play right now is Ditto as well as Zapdos EX. Moving forward, Chansey, and this card is either really, really great or really, really bad. Do you remember taking additional prize cards with the Jirachi, Prism Star, etc.? Well, if you like doing that, you're gonna be loving Chansey. Once during your turn, when you put this card from your, if you pull this card from your face down prize cards, and if you have an open space on your bench, you can use this ability before you add it to your hand. And then if you put this Pokemon on the bench, you can flip a coin. If heads, you can take another prize card. This is actually really insane. I think we still have Arc Phone in the format and Peonia to make sure you can put those cards there. So we have Arc Phone. Arc Phone, if you don't know what Arc Phone is, there is a card here, as you can see here. Look at the top card of your deck. You may switch that card with one of your face down prize cards, or you can go for Peonia. If you don't know what Peonia does, Peonia actually allows you to manipulate your prize cards, and that could be meaning you can add, not Peonia, yeah, that's the card we really want to see here. So Peonia can actually look at put 3 prize cards in your hand, and then for every prize card you put in hand, put another card from your hand back in the prize card. So that could be a way you could be putting all these Chanseys in, take a KO on a V Pokemon, maybe take 2 Chanseys. The problem I see here is that we don't have Scoop Up Nuts. We do have Peony, not Peony, what am I saying? Penny. You have Penny to put them back in hand, I suppose. If Scoop Up Nut was in the format, it would have been way better. A couple of Scoop Up Nuts, a couple of Chanseys, a couple of Peonia, and you just cheese out games with the Chansey. Take an additional prize cards. This is going to be a really random, fun meme deck, mark my words, and I'll be testing that out on TCG Live if it doesn't glitch, because this seems like a really fun card to be playing around with. Then there is Jynx. Jynx is around, wants to give you a lovely kiss, and you don't want to have a lovely kiss by the Jynx here, because it comes back with the kiss goodbye, the goodbye kiss from Jynx. If your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep, it is now instantly knocked out. Did you enjoy playing with amazing rare Yveltal and just snapping people? Well, with Jynx you can do that again, definitely in combination with this Hypno. Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you make your opponent's active Pokemon asleep. So you play, maybe a 3-3 line of Hypno and just take all your prize cards with a Jynx. You could be utilizing Melanie and DTE to get it off. Melanie, DTE, evolve into Hypno. Goodbye. You kiss them goodbye with Jynx. A very cool archetype for sure coming from this Pokemon card 151 set. And you could also try and use Parasect in combination with, what other card was that? I saw some other things, right? Parasect from, was it Lost Origins? Yeah. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you make both active Pokemon asleep and poison. Hypno's obviously better in that regard, but on the other hand, you might try out a little bit of everything. Maybe the poison could be doing something here and there, but yeah. If you can make the opponent sleep, you can kiss them goodbye with Jynx. Its second attack is very bad. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. If you can get 3 water energies on, you could get this off. But this is gonna be another new funky archetype. This Pokemon card 151 set is better than you might think. So we have a chance that we're gonna be playing around with Zapdos EX decks like the Comfy Engines. Will get a Ditto. Very cool for sure. And then yeah, the Hypno just has an attack 110, but that's pretty bad. Next is Nidoking and Nidoqueen. These are actually partners that always try to work together. This time around, the King's Motivation, if you have Nidoqueen in play, ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attack cost. That means you could be playing a deck with 0 energies. And it does slap 190 damage. It is the Darkness type, meaning you hit weakness against Mew VMAX as well as Gardevoir EX, which is actually not too bad. You also poison the opponent, so technically that's 200 the damage output. The other fellas don't do that much. We do see that Nidorino is searchable with Level Ball, so that's pretty interesting. Nidorina as well. And let's see here. The Nidorina has also search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon, reveal them and put them in your hand. So you can maybe get them if you don't get Iono'd into Oblivion. And then the Nidoqueen. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's basic Pokemon. So pretty much a wall, just like Max Balloon from, something like the Lost Box decks that only run on a basic Pokemon. You could be using this, but unfortunately we don't have Big Parasol in the format anymore, so Sableye Sprinkle will still get through Nidoqueen. So average archetype, because you have to find a way to find rare candies very quickly to get Nidoking to start attacking, and then you need to replace your Nidoking if it gets knocked out. So don't think it's going to be pretty good. It's not going to be good at all. Then there's Bill's Transfer. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of Pokemon you find there and put them in hand. That is insane dig for Pokemon, that's for sure. It reminds me of Bill's Analysis. Was that a card like digging 7 cards deep and then getting 2? There's a Big Balloon giving free retreat to Stage 2 Evolution Pokemon. So this is like Floatstone for Stage 2s. So if you have like a Stage 2 that has a lot of retreat cost, you can be utilizing the Big Balloon to get free retreat. This could help Gardevoir EX. Are there any other Stage 2s that are being played right now? Not that I can think of. So yeah, interesting to see we get another way to retreat. Unfortunately, it's not Air Balloon, it's not Floatstone. It's only working for Stage 2s. We have a Marowak here. I think we've already reviewed this Marowak. No, we didn't. We have the Cubone. Your Marowak's attacks deal 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you can get 4 Cubone out, you're slapping 120 additional damage output. And with the Zoroark from Evolving Skies, you can transform into Marowak. And then you can actually slap a ridiculous amount of damage for a low amount of energies. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, but the problem is that Lost Box is still so good. Radiant Greninja will snipe you to death. If you have Manaphy around, then Lost Mind Sableye is a problem, so cool combo. There's Aerodactyl. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, devolve it by putting the highest stage of evolution card back in the hand. Could be a funky way to knock out Gardevoir EX. You just use it, boom, and you KO it, but it's probably not going to be that good. It evolves from Old Ember and it is immune from effects of your opponent's abilities. Yeah, if it was attacks as well, then you could survive Lost Mind, but now you can't. A random bulk Victory Bell. There's the Tangela. If you played Erica's Invitation from your hand, you slap 60 more damage. And then there's Cycling Road. Once during your turn, that player may discard a basic energy from their hand. If you do, draw 1 card. So it's pretty much like Scorched Earth Mini or yeah, it's just this card. It could be nice as a stadium bump for Gardevoir decks, I suppose. There's a Starmie. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you placed any damage counters in this way, discard this Pokemon and all cards attached to it. So this is an ability, by the way. So you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you discard this Pokemon. So the additional 2 damage counters might be interesting for sure. I'm also going to be check real quick about these EX cards. So we did talk about Venusaur already. Alakazam can attack while it's on the bench. Interesting. There is a Kangaskhan slapping 100 damage. I think it's flip 2 or 3 coins. Or actually, is it flip a coin, and if tails you cannot attack? I think that's going to be the way. It's kind of some kind of a bulk card, but it does draw cards with its triple draw, drawing 3 cards. And it does have 230 HP for a basic. Arbok EX here. During your opponent's next turn, defending Pokemon can't attack, but they can of course retreat or switch out of that. There's the second attack 150, and your opponent's you can actually discard a random card from your opponent's hand. So that's gonna be a disruptive card. So Arbok attacking away on your opponent's hand. Zapdos we talked about, Charizard as well, Blastoise as well. There's a Ninetales EX 260 HP, first attack 30 damage and burning the opponent, and then the Mirrored Flames 80 damage, and you're actually slapping, was it 120 more if you have the exact same amount of cards in hand. I think it is the exact same. If we take a good look at Ninetales EX here, yeah, it's actually this attack does 140 more damage. You're actually slapping 220. 220 with the Ninetales EX is a great number to knock out basic Vs or, yeah, basic EX Pokemon. So 220 for 2 energies. You just have to make sure you have the same amount of cards in hand. There's a Golem EX, and that is actually a card that is pretty interesting. During your next turn, if you use the dynamic roll, you're slapping 50 damage, and during your next turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be any good, because although Golem could rely on fighting, and actually the axe, there's an axe in the format, right? Gutsy Pickaxe. You use Gutsy Pickaxe and DTE, can get it off in 1 turn, and maybe that could be enough, but you always need to hit for that 50 damage, which is not doing anything in this specific format. Then we have Wigglytuff EX, and I think Wigglytuff EX is going to be kind of a very tanky archetype. Stage 1 EX Pokemon with 250 HP. That is a lot. On top of that, you can be utilizing its ability here. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, it actually gains 100 HP. So 350 HP. Give that fella a V-Guard energy. Slap down Radiant Gardevoir, and the opponent will need to hit 400 damage to KO Wigglytuff EX. Did I remind you, there's Cheren Scare in the format. Maybe this could be some sort of a control deck. I know there's still path to get rid of this ability, but if you can get Wigglytuff EX out of the field, that's 350 HP, and its attack actually Friend Tackle slaps 90 damage, and if you play the supporter from your hand during your turn, you're slapping 80 more damage. So, or actually, is it 80 or 90? I think it's 80 more damage. So 170 with the Friend Tackle, enough to knock out something like Lumineon V. That's a very strong Pokemon, because there's double Turbo Energy and V-Guard Energy in the format, helping this archetype quite a bit, and you could be utilizing, as mentioned, Cheren Scare, or maybe some kind of a stall deck for Palpat, Team Yell's Chair, Cheryl's. I know. It's gonna be 350 HP is just way too much for a lot of decks to heal, to actually do that much of damage. You are weak to fighting, but you can of course play Dunsparce. So these are all the new cards. I think we haven't talked about the Kabutops yet, and the Omastar. I think these are the last cards we've talked about here. Like, okay, there is Kabutops. It has an ability. Apply weakness for your opponent's Pokemon is actually ×4 instead of ×2. This means you can hit ×4, maybe like some sort of a Kecleon weird wacky deck with Kabutops to hit weakness. If you guys don't know what Kecleon is, let me just enlighten you. Kecleon from Chilling Reign. If the Pokemon is the same type as any basic energy is attached to it, so that means 90 damage ×4 is knocking out anything in the format. So Kecleon in combination with Kabutops. Are we finally seeing some wacky archetype that could work out? Who knows, but it's definitely fun regardless. It also heals 30 with its attack. It evolves from Dome Fossil, which actually Comes back with the Armor Shell, so this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Now that's gonna help because Cramorant still spits it to death as well as Sableye Sprinkles. There's Almastar. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon can't retreat. Why would you ever want this when there's a Snorlax in play, which does the exact same thing? Actually, in the format, we have the Snorlax from Pokemon Go, which is obviously way better than this Almastar. Then there's a Raichu. When one of your Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you move a Lightning Energy from that card to this Pokemon. It actually slaps 180 damage. It's actually not that good. I wouldn't play Raichu. And then there's an Onix. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. This attack does 80 damage for each Pokemon with a retreat cost of exactly 40 discarded in this way. It's a super funky Mimi archetype we're going to be making videos on TCG Live. So I'm actually kind of excited. Starmie seems nice to spread that additional damage output. A 1-1 line. And I know you discard it, but if you're playing something like Miriam or Super Rod, you can do it again. 2 damage counters might be relevant. Cycling Rogue could be a nice stadium bump for Gardevoir decks. Maybe you're not playing the Champions Festival if you don't have access to it. There is, of course, these are like mediocre cards. I think the Jynx Hypno deck could be very funky to try out. Maybe there's not big Parasol in format, so you pretty much can knock out anything. Melanie, DTE, Hypno Evolve, boom, you are knocked out. Super fun for sure. Unfortunately, we don't have Scoop Up Net, so how do you get this Hypno back in hand? Who knows? It's gonna be kind of a target with two retreat costs, but it's definitely fun. Talking about fun, yeah, this Chansey here with his lucky bonus ability. Would love to see that. And then Zapdos is going to test that out in Miraidon. Ditto in the Comfy deck. So that's pretty much it for the new cards from Pokemon Card 151. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in ridiculous ways. You have no idea. And be sure to check out our sponsors as well. PokemonStore.com, the best place for TCG live code cards. Use the coupon code ZapdosTCG to get 5% off and start, of course, boosting your TCG live account. There's CARDMARKET.com for European players. You can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZapdosTCG. There's Dragon Shield for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Dragon Shield is the best brand to protect your cards, so definitely check out the links down below. And then people worldwide, go check out yourplaymat.com. You can create your own custom playmat there. And today you can get 10% off by clicking that link down below in the description. That means you're going to be able to create your own custom playmat. They ship it worldwide. Upload your favorite wallpaper or design and you're going to be super happy. Mark my words. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG epicness. Peace.